Today we will learn how to evaluate a function. Remember, a function is a relation in which each input has exactly one output. F of x is formal notation. It represents y. So all this is saying is that f depends on x. You have to know x in order to calculate f of x. So if we were to take the equation y equals 2x minus 3, then we would write this as f of x equals 2x minus 3, because inside the parentheses f of x will be the input x, and then f of x is the output. 2x minus 3 is the rule we use to calculate the output using the input. All the values that we can put into the function are called our domain, and all of the values we can get out of our function are called the range. Now, let's try an example. We are going to calculate f of 2 and f of negative 1 for the function f of x equals 2x minus 3. Since we're looking for f of 2, then anywhere we see an x, we're going to replace it with a 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, minus 3 is 1. F of 2 is 1. Now let's try f of negative 1. Well, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 3 is negative 5. This means that f of negative 1 is negative 5. Let's look at an example. Use the following function, f of x is equal to 3 times the quantity 2x minus 1, to answer the following questions. Part A. What is the rule of the function? Well, the rule is the part that is on the other side of the equal sign from f of x. In this case, 3 times the quantity 2x minus 1. B. What is f of 4? Well, f of 4 is f of x, but with x replaced with 4. So we're going to rewrite the rule, but we are going to replace every x with a 4. So f of 4 is equal to 3 times the quantity 2 times 4 minus 1. 2 times 4 is 8, minus 1 is 7, times 3 will give us 21. Why did we do the math in that order? Well, PEMDAS. Do everything inside parentheses first, and within those parentheses, we're going to do multiplication and division before addition, subtraction. Then we're going to do the thing outside parentheses, multiply by 3, last. Now, let's look at C, f of negative 2. Just like in the last problem, we're going to rewrite our rule, but we're going to replace our x with negative 2 this time. So, if we use PEMDAS, we get 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, minus 1 is negative 5, times 3 is negative 15. Now, let's look at D. What is the output if the input is 5? Well, the output is your f of x, and your input is your x. So, what this is saying is, what is f of 5? Well, f of 5 is 2 times 5, which is 10, minus 1, which is 9, times 3, which is 27. For part E, given that negative 1 is an element of the domain, what is the corresponding element in the range? Remember, our domain is going to be our x values, and our range is going to be our y values, or our f of x values. So in this case, we're asking if x is -1, what is f of x? Well, f of -1 is just going to be 2 times -1, which is -2, minus 1 is -3, times 3 will give us a -9. For f, we are given the domain of 0, -3, and 2. What is the range? So in order to find the set of all values in the range, we have to put in the values from the domain set and figure out what each of them gives us. So f of 0, f of -3, and f of 2. Well, f of 0 is 2 times 0, which is 0, minus 1, which is -1, times 3 will give us a -3. Then f of -3 is 2 times -3, which is -6, minus 1 is -7, all multiplied by 3, and that gives us a -21. Now, for the last bit of our domain, we're going to do f of 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. If we multiply that whole quantity by 3, we get +9. So, our range is the set of numbers -3, -21, and 9. Remember, whenever we have a set of numbers for our domain or range, we have to use these brackets. Now, pause the video and try the last example on your own before playing the video. So, the rule of this function, f of x equals 4x plus 3, is just 4x plus 3. If we want to rewrite the function using y equals notation, we will need to replace f of x with y. So y equals 4x plus 3. F of -4 is just the function with x replaced with -4. So 4 times -4 is -16, plus 3 is -13. The range would be the set of answers or the set of outputs that you get when you input each of these values. So you need to know f of -2, f of 0, and f of 6. Well, f of -2 is 4 times -2, which is -8, plus 3 is -5. F of 0 is 4 times 0, which is 0, plus 3, which is +3. F of 6 is 4 times 6, which is 24, plus 3, which is 27. So the range would be the set of numbers -5, 3, and 27. Let's look at the output of 11 and find the input. If f of x equals 11, then that means that 4x minus 3 is equal to 11. Notice how, unlike last time where we were finding our f of x, this time we're finding x. So all we have to do is solve. This is a two-step equation, so you should remember this from 7th grade. First, we add 3 to both sides to get rid of -3. And we are left with 4x equals 14. Now, if we want to get our x by itself, we need to get rid of the 4 times. So instead of timesing by 4, we're going to divide by 4. And what we are left with is x equals 14 over 4. which simplifies to 7 over 2, or 3.5.